Hi guys, Piotr here. This is Litefinance Global YouTube channel. It's my pleasure to be with you again. What we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss today the scalping strategies. I'm going to discuss two possibilities. One is my very favorite, but I'm going to talk to you also about the second one. Well, there are no holy grails, as we know, when it comes to the market. So I strongly encourage you, do your own research, do your own homework before risking real money. Maybe one of those are gonna be very useful for you. So we are going to try to discuss the possibilities, endless possibilities when it comes to the intraday scalping, when it comes to the FX market. So without a further delay, let's jump straight and start explaining right here, right now. So guys, as I mentioned, that's the thing we are going to discuss, scalping. But as you know me, if you ever watch my previous educational videos, you are aware that even with the very strong day trading strategy, with the very strong scalping strategy, I have to take into consideration what is going on the higher time frame, and my execution on 1 minute chart is based on that, right? So in that case, just not to make that video too long, but to just put here some bullet points. I've already prepared some lines. So that's the daily chart of the cable, right? And as you can see, before the breakdown within the last 2 days, we had very strong support based on what we've seen on that chart here. Once it went lower through that level, we know that the support might turn into the resistance. And then I'm looking for the next close support. As you can see, the level from where we were moving higher, right, based on this latest price action. So there was a strong move to the downside and then engulfed. So this line as a line of the possible demand, right, after the break of the supply. So for the day traders and scalpers, those two lines from the daily chart are enough. Then I'm switching lower to the 1 hour chart, and based on that I'm looking for a possible lines on the intraday chart like 1 hour, right? In that case, let me show you what I took into the consideration right here. It was this supply zone over here. Why over here? Because we went lower here, all right? So the bottom of that candle of that particular plus the top are working as a possible supply. In the middle of that zone, as you can see here, we do have 50% zone, and even if you are going to watch one of the latest video, you know what kind of the boxes I'm looking for. On the other hand, right, we had some kind of the support or demand when it comes to the intraday chart based on what we've seen here as well, right? The most important things are here because we have to use that line once those levels are gonna to be broken to the upside. And on that particular day, as you can see, that's the one full day, so that's where we are going to try to use it. All right, you know that's my favorite strategy when we are talking about the horizontal lines, right? So let's switch lower. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the 1 minute chart, all right? And in that case, that's the particular day we discussed a second ago. So we know that these green lines from the daily chart, all right, as well as this purple line from the intraday chart from the previous day, that's what we are going to use. Again, there is no holy grail, and as a scalper or day trader, you have to understand that there are possibility you are going to have the losing streak, right? It might be 3, 4, 5 losing trades in a row. That's why the minimum risk reward ratio you are looking for is at least 2R, if not more. All right. So taking into the consideration the lines from the previous day, right? I'm interested what is going on when it comes to the European session, right? So mostly the London Open is very active, London Close is very active, US Open is very active. So that's where you are trying to look for the trading possibilities, right? Okay, let's have a look what we have here on that particular day, right? If we are going to, because I could easily find the entry here, but it was in the middle of the Tokyo session, so I'm not going to take into the consideration this level over here. What I'm going to look for is the level related to the European Open, right over here, and this type of the rally, boom, all right? So again, I'm not interested in Tokyo, I'm looking for some kind of the price action I like when it comes to the Europe Open, and that's the cable, right? What we know here is very important. The first thing first, we do have a very nice box we went out from, so we do have some kind of the consolidation. So going back to the possible demand or supply zone, we do have our possible demand. So this what is telling me where I'm going to have my stop, right? So in that case, I'm going to use that particular box because it's gonna be very, very important for me to make the measure, right? So once the market went higher, and you all know that I hate to chase the market. I hate to chase the market, right? So what I'm looking for after such a rally, that the market is going to give me the second chance, right? And if market is going to give me the second chance, I exactly know where is going to be my stop, 1 pip below that box, all right? But where is my entry? My entry is in between top of that box and then again in the mid, right? Here you have to work out your own strategy when it comes to the entry. You may want to try to scale in, you may want to try both top and mid of that range, right? But what is important, 1 pip below the low of the box is my stop. So if that's the case, immediately I know where is my first target, at least 2R, right? And then whatever price action we are going to see, I may try to trade higher, 3R, 4R, whatever, or the next line, right? So in that case, guys, there was on that particular approach, when it comes to the scalping, there was a one chance to try to trade 2R. It was immediately, I don't know, closing half or working with the order or working whatever. There was a possibility to trade to 3R from that trade, right? Or working with the trading stop. At some point we would be stopped out. But then again, it was a possibility to enter, because once we hit the top of that range, if I'm going to approach that, I'm not gonna be focusing again on the top of, if that was once hit, I'm done, all right? Then I may look for 50% of that one, right? With the, again, with the stop below, and there was a second chance to make another trade, right? So there was a beautiful, from the scalper's perspective, day on that particular day in that case. So that's my favorite, working with the horizontal lines from daily and hourly chart, executing on 1 minute chart. Why? Because my stop is such a tiny, juicy. That's what I love, right? And once I'm correct, it's easy, 2, 3, 4 R. All right. The second thing, I would like to discuss, less favorable for me, because I do prefer to work with horizontal lines, is to work with moving averages, right? So that's the euro dollar. The first important thing is where we are when it comes to, also I got the lines prepared here already, where we are when it comes to the horizontal lines, all right? And then working with the boxes, but in that case using the moving averages. And in comparison to the other guys sharing their strategies, usually they are using the top moving averages. In my case, I'm using numbers based on the Fibonacci. All right, so in that case, 21 moving average, and again 89, so meaning that I'm doubling. Sorry, 55. So 21. The next one is 34, and I'm using 55. And then again 144. All right, but I got my horizontal lines over here. I'm looking for the possible levels when it comes to the intraday chart. I'm looking for supply levels. I'm looking for something based on the supply demand, and then as a filter I'm adding the slopes when it comes to the moving averages. All right, in that case we've seen a little bit of the consolidation, the box over here, and then we've seen the move lower again, right? So next day I've been looking for the possible retest of that particular breakdown from that zone, especially that we have strong slope to the downside when it comes to moving averages, right? So again, doing the filter based on the moving averages with such a huge slope to the downside, what I've been looking for was some kind of the failure when it comes to the retest of this supply zone based on 1 hour chart. All right, so let's have a look how it ended up on the 1 minute chart on that particular day. All right, there you go. As you can see, I'm going to make it not as a background. I'm going to leave only the lines, not as a background. It's gonna be easier to show you what I'm talking about. It was the quite few possibilities to try to join the party based on that particular chart, right? Because it was again the slope from when it comes to the moving averages from the higher time frame was strongly to the downside, right? Plus the supply based on the 1 hour chart, upper shadows, 2 upper shadows on the 1 minute chart, right? So I knew it where is my stop after such a move, and then it could work like this. Right? So then 2 are at least after the failure. Also, you may want to use as a very aggressive scalper, you may want to use the slope from the earlier mentioned moving averages also on the 1 minute chart, right? So in that case, it was possible to try to trade based on the higher time frame view downside, right? Using that slope. Once we move like this, we make new low here, right? And then using the pullback to one of those two to use as a selling opportunity with the stop above, right? Again, another chance, but that's for very, very aggressive traders, right? Again, in that case, stop above here, trying to trade within that zone, boom to the downside, right? Again, But in that particular last case, something went wrong. We didn't make a lower low, and that was some kind of the red alert. Guys, go through that, try to adopt whatever is useful for you, all right? Don't forget it's not a holy grail, and don't forget that you may face the quiet long losing streak. So in that case, try to adopt the best risk reward ratio for you. With that being said, wish you great next trading day. See you around, take care, and goodbye.